Hi, in this video tutorial, we'll be using VDMX to control our Eurorack using a step sequencer and LFO plugin via MIDI output. To begin, you can see that I've already got my module for MIDI to CV installed, and I've got a module here that just does some basic sine wave synthesis, and I've got a little module here that just does some volume adjustment as well. And I've gone ahead and made three connections here. One is for the frequency of our generator, one is for the octave shift on here, and the third one is just for volume adjustment. And those are connected to the 1, 2, and 3 outputs on my MIDI output device. And if I go into Chrome here, you can see that this device is configurable, so I can just go in and if I need to change the MIDI CC values, it's also good for me to know that this one starts at channel 1 CC 20. So to begin with, I don't need a media bin for this project. I'm going to go into the plugin section. I'm going to add a new control surface. And to start, I'm going to add 3 sliders, one for each of the outputs that I want. Of course, I could go as far as making 8 if I wanted to, but for now, 3 will do. And I'll go in here, and I'll go under the ascending tab for my control surface. And I'll add a ascending tab for my control. And I'll go in here, and I'll go under the ascending tab for my control surface. And I'll add a ascending tab for my control surface. And I'll add a MIDI output. Set this to my interleaver, and I'll set this to 20. And one of the useful things is I can hit copy, and I can click on my next slider and hit paste, and then just increment these. And hit that. I hit paste. And that by 2. And now, in theory, I should be able to adjust these values. And we can hear stuff changing. Here's our volume adjustment. Here's our frequency adjustment. Here's our octave shift adjustment. So we can control the volume. If we want to, we can rename this slider here volume and stuff like that. Or if you don't want to, you can leave them as generic names. Now that we have that going, I'm going to go under here. I'm going to add a step sequencer. I'm going to do a multi-track step sequencer, so I'll go under here. I'm going to add another number track. Then I'll go here and do view all so I can see both of my tracks. And I can connect these to here just by doing a right click and drag. I can also do a right click here and choose use data source, step sequencer track 2. And now it sounds like this. But I have to raise, of course, the volume level. I get randomized to get different sound out of it. If I want to control the BPM, I can go under my clock plugin here and bring this into its own window. And I can adjust the BPM, say to 90. If I want a more complex sequence, I can change this to be 16 columns. And let's randomize that. I can make this loop over a single measure instead of that, or I can make it loop over 4 measures if I want to go slower. And now I'll add in a LFO plugin for the volume on that so I don't hear it in the background. And now, similar to what I had with the step sequencer, I have an LFO plugin here. I can inspect that and see that it has a few different built-in waveforms that you can adjust. So if I want, I can click and adjust the handles on these, and you can right-click and make assignments the same way. So I want to have this be my volume level that gets adjusted now. So it gets louder for a little while and then gets much quieter. You can add additional points on these waveforms by option clicking. And of course, you can have additional ramps here if you need to. You can even drop in your own equations and do a whole bunch of really fun stuff with the waveforms here. You can see in the inspector here that these are their individual waveform functions that you can do, and you can do some interesting stuff with custom equations. And once we have all of this kind of set up, we can rearrange stuff to be a little bit nicer if we want to with our windows. Do a little window adjustment. If you command drag, you can grab multiple windows. And now we have this nice little setup here for controlling our MIDI setup. And of course, if we want, we can go as far as having 8 sliders with this controller, but I'll leave it at this 3 for now, and you can go the rest of the way on your own. Thanks for watching.